Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. How are you? Sorry about before. The stupid fire service came and they knocked on my door and they're like, "Oh, we have to test the sprinkler and the alarm system." And I'm like, No one told me about this. Like, where's the notice that you guys were going to do this?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, we sent a letter out like a month ago." And I'm like, "I didn't get anything." So they were doing that for the last hour. That's why I had to end the last show very quickly. It's been that type of week this week. Every night it's been something. Everyone's busy. So I want to show you something. Apparently this report popped up in Australia that people, I guess fans of One Direction have been leaving bizarre reviews or maybe trolls even on the hotel's website for the place where Liam Payne died. So when I look it up though, I don't see it. So I'm trying to find it now and see if I can find the same reviews. But when I go there, yeah, change it to new, most recent. Yeah, like I don't see these reviews. They must have got taken down already from Google or something because I didn't see anything. No, he was from England. So they're saying here, people left reviews saying things like, "I like the hotel. They are managing it in the right direction. Some noise in the afternoons on the third floor, but fine." Someone said, "Excellent place. They brought my coffee to bed and I put 2 spoons of sugar in it and now I'm flying off the balcony." They say, "They leave a lot to be desired. Poor Liam. A great hotel. The view from the third floor is to die for." And yeah, so people are trolling the hotel now. For what reason? I don't know. But they're saying, making crude jokes about the singer's death. Yeah, it's pretty bad, right? So I can't actually find anything that on my side when I go to their reviews. There's just this one. Somebody said, "And to think Liam Payne would die here." A cry face. And then that's it. There's no other. Google must have already tried to rectify it because it's not showing for me at all. Let's see, go here and then most recent. So someone 3 hours ago, "Some come, others go." Maybe it's a lyric to the song. Someone said, "Liam died here," broken heart emoji. And then someone 5 hours ago said, "Nice hotel, clean and very friendly staff, great location. I had room 14B on the third floor. Very beautiful. It's a shame that the previous guest had left the window open and it was a bit cold." And then someone else said, "To think Liam would die here." And that's about it. There's no others right now. So I wonder if they have been able to remove them quickly. Pretty sad and very childish to do this in the death of anyone. It doesn't matter if it's a billionaire or millionaire singer or it's the guy who lives down the road. Neither matters. And you shouldn't make those types of jokes about someone who has passed in such a traumatic fashion. So yeah, you can. Did they have? Yeah, there you go. There's one of them. One of the reviews. Pretty sick and twisted. Like I like a good dark joke. You ever watch this channel? You'll hear Ping make some pretty dark jokes about true crime, but not like this. Hey Robbie, how are you? Good to see you. By the way, Robbie, thank you for your donation the other day. I appreciate that. Helps out a lot, a lot. Now we got sirens. Hopefully they're not coming here. Okay, I want to talk to you about something. So I was watching a documentary last night, and I want to talk to you about it. There's this documentary called Sweet Bobby, My Catfish Nightmare. And I thought this would be interesting to talk about. Let's get rid of this. Yeah, it's a draw-dropping facts of an elaborate catfish scheme will surprise those unfamiliar with the story, but they are revealed in a rushed and perfunctory film. Yeah, so I've watched it. They literally reveal everything in about 3 minutes at the end. It's very rushed, like they said, and it's very odd. They spend most of it just dilly-dallying about the whole setup to the whole thing. But I wanna tell you some weird facts. It was over 9 years. The guy had a stroke and couldn't speak. Then he was in witness protection, so he wasn't able to visit her or talk on a video call. If any of those things happened, I would just be like, "It's over." Like, why would you even do that? Why would you even, continue with such a charade for so long? It's just bizarre. Like, if someone won't talk to you on Zoom or something like that, FaceTime, within a week or two of meeting them, you should just block them because they ain't ever gonna do anything. They're gonna make excuses forever. So it's a bit of an odd documentary. I don't understand how she kept on for 9 years, and at the end of the show, she says how sad she is because she believes, during those 9 years, she was 35 at the time when it started, that she is now out of her window to have children. And I was like, "So you wasted 9 years and your last chance at child rearing on some guy who had a stroke, was in the CIA or something, and went into witness protection, and then had no voice, so all he used to do is grunt at you down the phone." Yeah, it's very odd. If you like that type of thing, maybe give it a watch, but, prepare to be frustrated. Danny says, "Did you hear anything about Wade Wilson losing kiosk?" Losing kiosk. What does losing kiosk mean? Losing kiosk for some son of Sam Law. The hell is a kiosk? Hold on. It says here Wade is no longer able to be on the kiosk. I don't even know what that is. She claimed they were in contact with Wade until the second time he was told no more kiosk. They do plan on being at the courthouse. Is that like the tablet that inmates have? Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, so it's like a tablet or something, or like a video call kiosky thing. Yeah, I don't know why that happened. Oh, no, it says here, I'm reading it. It says there was a woman called Kristen, and she was calling him through the kiosk, and that's how a lot of the jail phone calls got released through her or something. Kiosk is almost open. Yeah, interesting. I've not looked into anything about this. I don't. Yeah, let me look. Wade. It said something like late August. Apparently, Wade will no longer be allowed on the kiosk. He has had all communication shut down for the time being. I don't know, but it makes sense. I'll tell you send money. Oh, isn't there another name for that? That 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 book thing they do? Not kiosk. There's another name for it where you can put money on for inmates. I can't remember the name of it. Like you can so some prisons you have to apply to get on their list to be able to get phone calls and video calls and things like that. And you have to put money in through that first. Then you have to apply and get on a list. But I didn't know if is that what it's called? Canteen? But I know that they're pretty strict on it. Yeah, I've not kept up with a lot of Wade stuff since he was sentenced. I've not kept up with a lot of it. Daniel had his own TV show at this point. Look, I'm not impressed with all the women who seem to enjoy their drinking wine and touching themselves while being on the phone to Wade or I don't know, viewing his court footage or his TikTok or whatever. You do you, girl, but pretty sick and twisted if you ask me. This guy killed 2 women in one day, and you're all like, "Ooh, touch me." Like, really? Come on. Sean says, "Where's my reminder?" I don't know. We can look into Wade though if you want, although I just can't stand the guy. Wade Wilson. Has there been anything new in the last couple of days? Yeah. What do they call them? Kiosk girls, right? Kiosk girls. See here. Wade Wilson's jail inbox flooded with 3,900 messages from women and fans. Convicted murderer Wade Wilson reportedly has no shortage of reading material in his Florida jail cell while he awaits either being, well, we know now he got sentenced to death. But it says here inmates can receive inquiries through a monitored messaging account, and Wilson has also received 65 letters in the mail. Therefore, those old school lovers, they want to send it through the real mail. The office reports Wilson has accepted 279 connection requests and has also been sent 754 photos, 163 of which were rejected due to their inappropriate nature. My God, ladies, come on. Letters of support. Apparently, court orders lifted Thursday included letters from Wilson's supporters to the judge. These letters cannot be used to influence the judge sentencing, per the documents. Florida law requires at least 8 jurors to vote for the DP. Not the type that he might get if those women ever make it in there. That's a different type of DP. A letter dated June 28th from Heidi Cox, whose return address is listed in California, asked the judge to sentence Wilson to life in prison without parole rather than the death penalty. And she says, as someone who cares unconditionally for Wade, what? Um, she says, I have deeply reflected on the gravity of the situation and the impact of your decision. While I understand the severity of the crime committed, do you? Do you? Because this guy murdered 2 women in 24 hours. Do you want to be the third? We can arrange that. We can release him and send him to your house. Would you like that? We could do that. And it says here, uh, I believe that a life sentence would allow Wade the opportunity to reflect, repent, and contribute positively within the confines of the prison. What do you mean reflect? Don't you think he had enough time to do that? And repent. What is this, Catholic Church? They're saying here, furthermore, a life sentence would provide his family, along with myself, the chance to maintain a relationship with Wade. What relationship? What kind of relationship are you having? Like, what? I don't know. I think you're having a delusional one. And then it says she continued, it would allow us to visit, correspond, and continue to offer emotional support, a privilege that would be lost with the death penalty. Yes, that often happens with death. You lose these type of privileges. Kind of like the two women he killed, they lost them too. Cox asked the judge to consider the broader implications of your decision on both Wade's life and our family's well being. The what? They're saying choosing life without parole would not only uphold justice, but also preserve our humanity in a difficult time. What difficult time? There's not a difficult time right now. Everything, except if you got interest rates or rent. What are you talking about? Difficult time? And she wrote, "We are committed to supporting Wade through this journey of atonement." Atonement? No. And rehabilitation. Rehab for what? Killing women? What do you do every day? Do you go there and they give you a variety of weapons and they're like, "Tell us which one you would like to kill a woman with today." And then if you choose none of them, you pass the test. And if you do that for 9.5 years, they go, "Oh my god, he's fixed. He's fixed. He did not pick up a weapon today. He passed our test." And then it says here, "I'm not saying he shouldn't serve time for the crimes he committed, but I am not certain that the death penalty would be the best option." What would have been the best option for the two women he killed? Think about them. They say this will still leave Mr. Wilson in a prison system for potentially years waiting. And he will still have mental health issues. I don't think anything's going to solve that. And it says it won't fix the problem or the person, and it won't bring back the two women he killed. That's not the whole point of this death penalty thing. It's a you know it's it's a judgment against him for the crimes he did. We're not too worried about him. Do you understand that? Like, we're trying to make him pay for a crime, a horrific one that he committed to two women. We're not too worried about his mental health. It says here, a third letter dated July 8th is from a group of concerned citizens who observed several aspects of Mr. Wilson's trial that raised significant legal and procedural concerns. Outlined 17 concerns ranging from the effects of Wilson's upbringing to his notorious appearance. The hell's that got anything to do with him killing two women? And it says here, Mr. Wilson's face tattoos likely resulted from the need to survive in a hostile jail environment. He put himself there. What happened to accepting personal responsibility for your own actions? And the tattoos were something he wanted to do. Again, personal accountability. Says here earlier this week, Richard Gabriel, president of the Los Angeles based litigation consulting company Decision Analysis Inc., told Newsweek about how Wilson's appearance could have impacted the jury. Then why did he do it then? Appearance always has a subliminal effect on the jury. So do crimes. How many times I've heard a juror go, "Oh my God, I was so impacted by the crime the person committed, not by what they look like." Jurors are always looking at a criminal defendant and evaluating whether he or she looks like the kind of person that would have committed the accused crime. I don't think there's any doubt of who killed those two women. I don't think we're at that stage. And they say Wilson's attorney Kevin Shirley also addressed his client's unsettling appearance. "Mr. Wilson is very intimidating. I'm sure the two women he killed thought the same thing. But he also appreciates good representation." That must be that cheap suit he wears. Uh, and they say in an email to Newsweek, they say, "Once he realized what we were doing for him, he was not adversarial and never has been with the rest of our staff." Why? Was there a time when he was adversarial? Tell us about that, when that happened. Oh my God. Uh, have fun in prison. Enjoy your time on death row. I don't know. He drives me crazy, that guy. Moonlight View says, "Here comes Junior." Oh my God. It's very interesting. I guess this is what happens when you have TikTok fame. You get to just not be held accountable for anything, you know, get to use every excuse under the sun for your own actions, which are crimes. I don't know what he wants. There's a saying that the internet loves, and it's you know, play stupid games and win stupid prizes. He has definitely won a stupid prize. Let me see if I can find anything else about this. I want to see a photo of this stupid kiosk. Oh, okay. Let's see. Is this stupid thing here? Like, I can only see someone's. Is this it here with him on the phone? It's like a little computery thing, like with a screen and a keyboard. You can answer email. I guess it's so it's supervised, like supervised connection or something. Rachel says, "God takes all of his privileging. Good, take all of his privileges and give the money those crazy women raised to the victims' families." Right. I can't believe like there's a website. I remember seeing it. Where is it? I'm sure there was a website for like go get funding or something. Oh yeah, here. Oh, this is one of them anyway. They raised $2,921. This is one of them. I swear there was one that had like millions on it. I'll have to see if I can find it. There's one here. Woman donates $24,000 to save convicted woman killer Wade Wilson from the death penalty as judge weighs his sentence. It was Fundly, that's it. They raised more than $70,000 among 370 donors at the time of this. This was August 22nd. They say in total, the Save Wade Wilson, wait, the Save Wade Stephen Wilson Fundly campaign had raised more than $70,000 amongst almost 400 donors at the press time. This campaign is not a debate about innocence or guilt, but the right to a fair and objective trial. The public has raised serious concerns about the integrity of the initial trial. Who raised the concerns? I didn't see anyone talking about that. No one sent me a letter. They're saying here, including potential miscarriages of justice and a failure by his legal team to adequately challenge the prosecution's case. Yeah, okay, sure. The case emphasizes the importance of providing every individual the opportunity for a fair trial, regardless of the charges against them. A donor by the name of Jeanette gave the largest five-figure donation earlier this month. Trailing behind Jeanette is an anonymous donation of $10,000. And a supporter wrote, "Stay strong, Wade. We will help you." What, with a file in a cake? You're going to smuggle it in there and you can chip away at the death row bars for, 10 years and try to get out. Another backer says, "You have so much love and support." Just like the love and support those women have, apparently. I mean, they deserve it more than he does. Wade absolutely deserves the best legal representation and healthcare for his mental health and rehab. No. That's what the prison has health and they have rehab. It doesn't need a Hollywood, you know, caretaker to come in and look after him. What are you going to do next? Get him a personal trainer that goes to the prison every day? They say, "I'd love to be able to talk with him because I know he deserves a second chance and no death penalty," another confessed in the comments. I tell you what, anyone who writes that comment has to live with him at your house for a week. All right? That's the deal. Anyone that writes a crazy comment like that, he gets to stay at your house for 1 week. They're saying here Wilson was convicted of the 2019 double murders of Cape Coral, Florida woman Kristen Melton and Diane Ruiz in June. His case gained national attention earlier this year after scores of women agreed he was attractive, prompting admirers to flood the killer's inbox with thousands of love letters. You know, this is just a shining example when we ask, oh my God, how did that woman get killed by that guy? How did she not see that he was a violent asshole? Example number one. This is just like the shining example. Oh my God, he's so hot. He killed 2 women. That's okay, baby. He ain't gonna kill me. He will. I promise. He will eventually kill you too. GoFundMe shut them down. They are cray cray. I hope he loses. Yeah, I hope it all goes to the victims. Hope it all goes to um the family of its what's their last names again? Melton. Yeah. Christine Melton and Diane Ruiz. I hope every dollar goes to them because I think that one would be hilarious and two, it's part of justice, right? He has to pay restitution. He doesn't get he doesn't get to use this money for like whatever. You can't run a freaking donation thing in prison. It's ridiculous. Give it to the people. Handler says, "Do hot people not kill?" According to these women, it's the age old adage that a lot of that there's unfortunately a lot of women out there who see a challenge and think they'll be the one who can change them. They're the ones who can turn them into a decent guy. And this guy is probably about the biggest challenge you could find. And there's a lot of women out there who mentally are like, I finally found my Everest. And they are like, I'm going to climb this Everest and change him into a good guy. Moonlight View said, it's so typical. I could see it if he had a defense. Yes, that's right. Ted Bundy? Sort of, yeah. I know his dad testified against him. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what people are talking about in the thing saying, oh my God, he needed a fair trial and a better defense. How do you provide a defense for someone who admitted to it and left so much freaking evidence behind? The cops were like, oh my God, it's Friday and we already solved the crime. It's just, there's so many people out there that are missing their brain cells and instead they have a box of crackers in their head. They're just crackers rolling around in their head. Crackers. Kathy says women thought Ted Bundy was so handsome. I know. People are strange. It's like those women who write to killers on death row. It's like, lady, how bored are you? How hard up for a date night are you that you feel the need to write to killers on death row? How hard up for it are you? Danny says, and the whole world saw him try to kill his own. I mean, yeah, exactly. I hate talking about him because I don't think he deserves the time of day from me, from anyone. He should go sit in his crappy little 8x8 cell and lie in his own bed that he built. That's it. His own actions got him to exactly where he sits right now. And that's it. That's it. It's all. We're done. Those two women, I feel like because of the stupid TikTok stuff for him, the memories of those women are diminished like substantially. That in 10 years' time, people won't even know their name. They'll know him. They'll know who he is, but the victims will be like a footnote on him on his Wikipedia. They'll be like, "Oh, Wade Wilson, the guy with the tattoo in that trial from like 2024, And then down the bottom in like asterisks in like tiny letters, they're like, and he killed 2 women, then these are their names. Like that's what it'll be. And that's not fair. That's not fair to those women. And, we should remember them. Danny Mitchell says, you'll wonder what the Mendez wives think of the prospect of them getting out. I don't know. I think they could be quite worried. They'd be like, oh my God. I never thought that the day would come. I saw that. They're getting a new trial? Is that what is going on? Oh, yeah. I saw this the other day. Let's see if we can find a little thing about it. Yeah. I got a press conference from 5 hours ago. Let's have a look.
Buenas tardes. My name is Ana Maria Baralt. I am the niece of Jose Menendez. I stand before you today not just as a member of the Menendez family, but as someone who believes in truth, justice, and healing. Before I get started, I just want to say that I know this is an election season, but for us, this is not a political issue. This is about truth, justice, and healing. On behalf of our whole family, it is my honor to formally introduce our new coalition, Justice for Eric and Lyle. Like so many others, I struggled to process the events of that fateful August day and the loss that I felt. Over time, it became clear that there were 2 other victims there on that day, my cousins Lyle and Eric. Lyle and Eric would continue to be victimized. They would be victims of a system that wouldn't hear them. And they would be victims of a culture that was not ready to listen. They would be mocked. They would be called cold-blooded killers, left to rot in jail and denied any hope of redemption. If Lyle and Eric's case were heard today, with the understanding we now have about abuse and PTSD, there is no doubt in my mind that their sentencing would have been very different. And yet, despite their circumstances, they have chosen a life of light. Without hope of release, they persevered. They have sought to better themselves and serve as a support and inspirations for survivors all over the world. Their continued incarceration serves no rehabilitation.
Sorry, what did she say? Did she just say that they serve as sort of like an inspiration for other survivors across the world? Who gave them that title? I want to see who gave them that title. Someone show me who bestowed that upon them.
Rehabilitative purpose. It's time to recognize the injustice they've suffered and allow them the second chance they deserve. Now here we are, both sides of the family united, sharing a new bond of hope. Hope that with the re-examination of their case, a new outcome will be reached. Hope that this 34-year nightmare will end and that we will be reunited as a family. I am here to ask the district attorney's office to take into account the full picture, the truth that was hidden for so long. Lyle and Eric deserve a chance to heal, and our family deserves a chance to heal with them. Please join us. Visit www.justiceforericandlyle.org and sign our petition. And if you'll indulge me, I have 2 more statements to read. The first is from my mother, 85 years old, Terry Baralt, the sister of Jose Menendez. She can't be with us today due to health challenges, but she sent me this. I'm sorry that I can't be there in person to support my nephews, Lyle and Eric. I begin chemo soon and my doctor says no flights. I need to be strong. I wish to make it clear that I stand firmly with this family. I am Lyle's godmother, and I love them both very, very much. My nephews have spent 3 decades in prison helping others. I have seen great growth in them. Even the law enforcement supervisors and corrections have written letters to the court asking for their resentencing and release. Millions across this country agree. I implore the district attorney's office to end our prolonged suffering and release Lyle and Eric back to our family. 35 years is such a long time. My prayer is that I live long enough to see my nephews again and to hug them once more. I have another statement, and this is written by a family member of Marta Cano and Andy Cano, that Andy, the one to whom the letter was written. This is written by one of Marta's children. Thank you for giving our family the opportunity to express our thoughts during this pivotal time in Lyle and Eric's case. Our family's tragedy has always been very public and has been extensively covered by many media platforms. Marta and Andy Cano would have wanted to speak today, but unfortunately, they are both unable to do so. Marta is in memory care, but she spent decades supporting Lyle and Eric. Sadly, we lost Andy shortly before his 30th birthday, and we miss him every day. Both Marta and Andy deeply loved Lyle and Eric. They both believed in justice, but they also believed in the second chances and forgiveness. It has been 35 years since this happened, and we feel enough penance has been paid. It is time for them to be released and for all of us to move on and continue healing as a family. Again, if you want to help, please join us at justiceforlyleanderic.org and sign our petition. With that, I'm going to be followed by several members of the Anderson family.
I think I agree with that. As long as they, for the rest of their lives, never had any access to any of their parents' wealth, yeah, I could see that. I could see that if they release them on, like, some sort of reconnaissance or something. But that would have to be a condition that their parents' wealth would not be able to be accessed by either of them, ever. Not their wives, not their jail wives that they met or whatever. None of them. Both parents' siblings want them released. Yeah, I know. The new evidence, if you haven't heard it, where is it? It's here. Here, in court papers obtained by the LA Magazine, two new pieces of evidence are cited that seem to point to the brothers' abuse allegations. The first is the allegations made by a former member of the 1980s boy band, Munendo, who claimed that he was drugged and sexually abused by Jose Menendez when he was a teenager. The second piece of evidence is an alleged handwritten letter by Eric to his cousin in 1989, prior to the murder of Jose and Kitty, which details his abuse from his father. Kim Kardashian, who has long been an advocate in the prison reform space, also recently visited the brothers in jail. Kardashian was reportedly there to chat with the brothers about the Green Space Project, which aims to make life in prison more closely resemble the outside world. She helped Alice Johnson get released from a life sentence after reading about her story on Twitter in October 2017. In May 2019, Kardashian then helped negotiate the release of another low-level drug offender from prison. They say the brothers are currently serving their sentences at the R.J. Donovan Correctional Facility in San Diego, California. They were separated for 2 decades before being housed in the same prison unit recently. It's reported that the brothers burst into tears immediately when reunited. While behind bars, both brothers have found wives. Lyle has been married to Rebecca Sneed for 21 years. Eric has been married to Tammy Sackerman for 25 years. He told people about their marriage, Tammy's love has propelled me to become a better person. I want to be the greatest possible husband to her, and this affects the choices I make every day in prison. Okay. Yeah, I think Sean says it's a Jerry Springer special. A little bit. The interview with the mom's sister, I don't think I did. Let's see. It's Joan Vandermolen, right? Joan Vandermolen. Yeah, it's in Fox 11, Los Angeles.
very much face to face. Not even mine, but yes. Okay. Okay. Please know that I'm nervous and full of emotions. I never thought this day would come. I am Kitty's sister. I stand here today with a heavy heart and also with hope and justice and understanding. We have received such an outpouring support in recent weeks, which led us to launch this formal initiative. For many years, I struggled with terms with what happened to my sister's family. It was a nightmare none of us could have imagined. But as details of Lyle and Eric's abuse came to light, it became clear that their actions, while tragic, were the desperate response of two boys trying to survive the unspeakable cruel of their father. As their aunt, I had no idea of the extent of the abuse they suffered at the hands of my brother-in-law. None of us did. But looking back, I can see the fear and tension that their father had instilled on them. They were just children who could have been protected and were instead brutalized in the most horrific ways. The truth is, Lyle and Eric were failed by the very people who should have protected them, by their parents, by the system, by society at large. When they stood trial, the whole world was ready to believe that the boys could be raped. Was not ready, not ready. The whole world was not ready to believe boys could be raped, or that young men could be victims of sexual violence. Today we know better. We know that abuse has long-lasting effects, and victims of trauma sometimes act in ways that are very difficult to understand. In the years since their conviction, society's understanding of sexual abuse and its psychological impact has grown significantly. We understand that a person doesn't need to fit a specific mold, whether it's gender or socioeconomic status, in order to experience abuse. In their case, if it were tried today, the evidence of their father's abuse would not only be admitted in court, it would provide essential context for why they acted as they did. No jury today would issue such a harsh sentence without taking their trauma into account. Lyle and Eric have already paid a heavy price, discarded by a system that failed to recognize their pain. They have grown, they have changed, and they have become better men despite everything that they've been through. It's time to give them the opportunity to live the rest of their lives free from the shadow of their past. While I recognize it is election season, this isn't about us or about the politics. It's about finding the truth, delivering justice, creating space for healing. I want to thank everyone who has reached out to our family in recent days and weeks, asking how they can help. Today we have an answer. Please sign our petition at www.justiceforericandlyle.org and urge the district attorney's office, no matter who holds the DA position, to consider all the evidence, both old and new.
So, according from an update from Sky News, the prosecutors are reviewing the case. I don't know. You tell me what you think. Should their sentence be reduced? Should they be set free? should they have to serve the original sentence that was given to them? And how much weight do these two new pieces of evidence hold when compared to the original trial? I think that'll be the deciding factor. Yeah, I know who Robeson is. I think we did him the other. I think we talked about him the other day. He's the guy who shook his baby or something like years ago. I can show you something. Hold on, let me Google it. Yeah. They say a Texas board rejects clemency plea from a man facing execution in shaken baby syndrome case. Says here a Texas state board on Wednesday declined to stop what could be the first execution in the US in a case tied to the diagnosis of shaken baby syndrome, rejecting clemency pleas from a man who claims of innocence have drawn wide support, including from Republican lawmakers and a detective who says the conviction was based on faulty science. The parole board voted unanimously 6-0 to not recommend that Robert Robeson's death sentence be commuted to life in prison or that his execution be delayed. The decision is a major setback for efforts by his attorneys and a diverse coalition of individuals and groups to stop his lethal injection on Thursday. Robeson, who has long proclaimed his innocence, has few options left. The governor, Greg Abbott, can only grant clemency after receiving a recommendation from the board. Abbott does have the power to grant a one-time 30-day reprieve without a board recommendation. All members of the board are appointed by the governor. But in his nearly 10 years as governor, Abbott has halted only one imminent execution in 2018 when he spared the life of Thomas Whitaker, who had masterminded the fatal shootings of his mother and brother. Abbott said he commuted the sentence in part because Whitaker's father, who survived the shooting, indicated he would be victimized again if the state put to death his last remaining immediate family member. Earlier Wednesday, the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals denied another request from Robeson to stay his execution. His attorneys have asked the U.S. Supreme Court for a stay in execution. They're saying Robeson, 57, was commended for the 2002 condemned for the 2002 killing of his 2-year-old daughter Nikki Curtis in the East City, Texas of is it Palestine or Palestine? I know DJ would know. They say we urge Governor Abbott to grant a reprieve of 30 days to allow litigation to continue and have a court hear the overwhelming new medical and scientific evidence that shows Robert's chronically ill 2-year-old daughter Nikki died of natural and accidental causes and not abuse. A spokesperson for Abbott did not immediately reply to an email seeking comment Wednesday. One of those who has been pushing to stop his execution is Texas GOP megadonor and conservative activist Doug Deason. They say Doug says, I believe he is innocent. Interesting. Well, I have to look it up what the original court was. I thought he did. I remember they said he did do it. But we can have a look. Let's go to KTRE.
First, at 6, only 24 hours remain before the execution of Robert Roberson, a Palestinian man on death row for the 2002 death of his daughter. Today, the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles denied a request for his clemency, and now his defense team is asking the Supreme Court and the governor to intervene. KTRE's Tyree White shows us today's House Committee hearing in Austin, where lawmakers and testimony urged the state's highest criminal court to halt that decision.
I'm ashamed that I was so focused on finding an offender and convicting someone that I did not see Robert. I did not hear his voice.
Hearing the voice and sparing the life of Robert Roberson. It's what caused the Texas House Committee on Criminal Jurisprudence to meet and hear testimonies from doctors, attorneys, and the lead Palestinian detective who helped put Roberson on death row. They all believe in Roberson's innocence. The committee says Roberson's case also shines a light on law that hasn't done what it was made to do.
When the legislature passes a law and finds out that it's not working the way that it was intended to, it is incumbent upon us to step in and make that law right.
Article 11.073, otherwise known as the Junk Science Law, allows prisoners to fight wrongful convictions if proven faulty or incorrect forensic science caused their convictions.
We gave the courts of criminal appeals these tools to go back and to give those cases fresh looks, and the courts are ignoring those statutes and are not utilizing those tools.
Robertson's daughter, Nikki Curtis, died in 2002 from what prosecutors at the time believed to be shaken baby syndrome. But since then, multiple doctors have debunked that theory, saying the science that backed it at the time holds no weight today.
Repeatedly, biomechanical studies have failed to demonstrate that you can shake a baby vigorously enough to cause the radiographic findings that are used as the so-called diagnostic triad for shaken baby syndrome.
If not shaken baby syndrome, then what killed Nikki?
I can't tell you what happened to her, and because I don't know.
Robertson's attorneys say his late autism diagnosis, along with junk science, led to his conviction. They argue science shows Nikki died from accidental and natural causes, pneumonia causing septic shock.
We're grateful that this hearing is happening, and even though it's a different proceeding than what we had asked for initially, it will at least allow for some of this evidence to be out in the open.
Just yesterday, Judge Alfonso Charles denied motions to vacate the execution warrant to recuse the judge who issued it, with all 6 members of the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles voting to not delay Robertson's execution 180 days and not to commute to a lesser sentence. He might become the first person to be executed for shaken baby syndrome in the country.
We hope we are not doing it in his memory. We hope that the law can be changed to benefit Mr. Robertson and to benefit likely hundreds of other people who are impacted by junk science and false scientific evidence presented at their.
It reminds me of that Australian woman who the Australian prosecutors thought she'd killed like 4 of her children. She was released earlier this year after they realized that the science they used back then was not credible today, and realized that her kids actually died from natural causes, and she was released from prison. It was either this year or last year. Yeah, so we'll see. But this guy's time is running out. He has 18 hours, something like that, 15 hours. Not very long. They'll execute him tomorrow at like 9 p.m., 6 p.m., something like that. Let me see what time his date is set for tomorrow. Hold on. Yeah, let's go to the Texan. Okay, it doesn't give a time. It just says he is scheduled to be executed tomorrow. So he has to be executed by midnight tomorrow, according to the death warrant. So I don't have a time though, but they're saying tomorrow. I'm just, did they give a new? They're saying here. Hold on, let me past. Oh, hold on. Actually, I'm going to jump on this. We'll catch up on this one tomorrow. I promise we'll check into it. But this just came across my desk. An Amber Alert issued for missing 13-year-old after truck she was in was stolen. Did they find her? Let's have a look. Oh, they found her. Thank the freaking Lord. I don't know why that came up so late. Says
Colorado.
here, Teen found safe after kidnapped. She got kidnapped in a stolen car in, is it Pueblo? They're saying they issued an Amber Alert earlier today. They recovered the vehicle, but not her. I hope she's okay. They're saying just before 8:45 p.m., officials said the stolen vehicle had been recovered, but a teen was still missing and the suspect was still at large following a vehicle theft. And they are saying now that she has been recovered. Let's see. Sandra Mendoza was found safe. Oh, thank God. That was only about an hour ago. No, that's not the right one. Sandra Mendoza. Yeah, 1 hour ago, located safe. There we go. CBI deactivates Amber Alert for missing 13-year-old. She was in a white pickup truck when it was stolen, and that was in Colorado. They're saying that she has since been located safely, but no details on how that occurred or where she was if they found the car but couldn't find her. Very strange, but glad she was found safe. That's all we yeah, there we go. Found. A giant found photo. James says it's interesting 16 for a spouse who killed an adult and life for an 18-year-old who kills abusive parents. It's true. Moonlight View says I am related to Doug Deason. Interesting. Hey Sienna. Glad you made it home. Yeah, I'm glad she's safe too. What a horrible experience to be like kidnapped from this guy who stole the vehicle you were in, took off. What time was that in the morning? Let's have a look. I'm not sure what time it happened. About 2 p.m. they published it, and then they updated it in the like about an hour ago, saying that they located her late in the evening. So she was missing for a good 8 hours, maybe longer. That is a hell of a day for that young girl. Let me just search one other place. I want to see if we can find out how they found her. 13 minutes ago, that's when the update came through from KOAA. They say Sandra Mendoza was located safely. And the CBI posted only 15 minutes ago that they're deactivating the Amber Alert. But no details on how it happened. Okay. She was last seen at 5:10 p.m. and then they found her sometime in the last hour or so. Let's go to KTTV.
Colorado officials are currently searching for and asking you to keep an eye out for a missing teen out of Pueblo and a suspect they say is at large. Take a look at your screen. This is from the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. They're currently searching for 13-year-old Sandra Mendoza, who was last seen Wednesday at around 5:10 p.m. in Pueblo. Now, according to officials, Sandra was in a vehicle when an unknown male stole that vehicle from the 1200 block of South Prairie Avenue in Pueblo. That is just south of the Colorado State Fairgrounds. That vehicle has since been recovered by law enforcement. It was recovered about 4 minutes down the street on Prairie. But Sandra is still missing, and that suspect, again, still at large. Pull up a closer look at their face. On the left side of your screen is suspect.
That incident has nothing to do That incident has nothing to do with another shelter in place that was issued at the same campus earlier today. That comes after a death in a residence hall. Very little has been shared about what happened there, but police say they found that person in a room at Alpine Hall. An alert was sent out around 10:30 this morning telling some students in nearby residence halls to stay in their rooms. That order was lifted just before noon.
A city.
Sorry, they were saying here that on the Colorado State University, on the campus, CSU campus, a welfare check came in Wednesday morning and they found an unresponsive person inside a dorm room and requested medical assistance. They say the fire authority and UC Health arrived and confirmed the person had died. They said the cause of death is not known at this time and they would not be releasing the person's name until a later date. While police investigated, the public was asked to avoid the area. About 10:30 a.m., the CSU Police and Safety asked residents in Laurel Village, is it Durwood Hall and Corbett Hall, to stay inside their rooms. Also asked the public to avoid the area. About an hour and 20 minutes later, police said residents could resume their normal activities, but there was still police activity and the public was still asked to avoid the area at the time. So they must have got a call to check on a student, and when they got there, unfortunately, they had died. That is very sad. I hope we find out at some point who that student was and how the welfare call came in. That would be very interesting. They're probably trying to get in touch with their family. That's probably what they're trying to do. Judah said, I wanted to tell Rebe happy birthday. Not sure if she's still here. She's occupied today. She'll be back soon. But you can wish her happy birthday when she comes back. She can tell you then what's going on. But yeah, I hope she has a better birthday than she was expecting. All right. Hold on, I want to check this out. Alpine Hall on CSU campus. Yeah, 2 hours ago. No, 48 minutes ago.
Inside a dorm room. Yeah, information on this is limited. Now, police do tell us they were conducting a welfare check when they discovered a body inside of a dorm room at Alpine Hall. Students in nearby buildings were asked to shelter in their rooms for over an hour while police investigated. Now, at this hour, the cause of death and identity of this person has not been shared.
Well, I hope they were able to tell the family and find out what happened to him. They say the individual was found dead inside a dorm room at CSU on Wednesday. CSU confirmed on its website in a nighttime release. It was not confirmed whether this was a student who attended the university or someone else. A separate incident involving police also took place on the campus Wednesday night. There was an aggravated assault with a knife in a different part of the Fort Collins campus, and another shelter in place was put in place for about half an hour. According to the university in the morning, the cause of death is unknown, and the name of the deceased is not being released at this time. They're probably trying to get in touch with next of kin, that type of thing. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I hope her operation goes well. No, I don't have any news. Haven't heard from her. I'm sure when she's feeling better, she'll email me. But I don't have any update for you. She may not even be out of surgery yet, so I hope she's going to be okay. I really do. I think that's it for today. I think that's it, my ladies and gentlemen. It's getting late. I got to go do normal people stuff, and yeah, we'll do more on Liam Payne tomorrow. Hopefully, we find out more about what happened there. It's very sad. I know there'll be a lot of young adult women who grew up with that boy band who will be very devastated, along with his obviously family and friends. It's not the way that we wished anyone to go, right? Hey Anna, how are you? It's good. It's always good to see you drop in every now and then, my friend. Yeah, I hope she can have birthday cake after her surgery. That would be nice. I will see you guys tomorrow, 9 p.m. Hopefully, no one annoys us tomorrow night. We've had so many interruptions this week. It's been really annoying. But hopefully, no interruptions tomorrow night, and we can have a very clean and clear show, and no breaks in streaming. All right, I gotta go eat. I haven't eaten all day, so I'm gonna go have my breakfast or lunch, being that it's 4 o'clock. And I will see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. for more Nights with Ping. Bye. Good night, everyone. And yeah, I'm sure there'll be more true crime tomorrow. It never stops, and we always have new stories. It's just the way the world works. Until then, subscribe and like this video, please. I try and not ask for anyone to subscribe because every stupid channel in the world says that, and it gets repetitive and annoying. But unfortunately, the only way we can grow is if that happens. So I would appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, everyone. Bye.